I left my family, they're over the ocean. I left my best friends, I left my home, I left my country, I can say I left my religion behind too, because over there it's like so much easier to practice it when it's around you all the time, you know? I left all of it and I said, I gotta find like a reason for all of it. For me, I failed before too, but I don't accept it. I'm loyal to succeed. And this is the only way I see it. So I will fall a million times, but you know what is the most important? The 1,000,001 that you gotta follow my lead. Follow my leader. Follow my leader.
We went through it. We went out. We was ball hopping.
Let me finish.
Literally ball hopping.
Let me finish.
Let me
finish my
that
story.
dude, everywhere we go, he just sit in the back and be like,
Let me finish my
I'm
story.
like, bro,
Let me
at home, man. If you're gonna be out there meeting mugging everybody,
Let me finish my story.
go home, man.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this. Watch this one because it was really like intriguing. Yeah. We had discussion. This is what I like, the authenticity, because we didn't know where he was going, and it was perfect. We argue, we debate, and it was beautiful. And thank you so much, Adar, for coming to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. Guys, think about it. Last time we sat here for 5 hours, we didn't even hit the record. That's how awesome it is.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Haitian Kings Podcast. Today we got somebody very important, somebody very special, somebody in the community that's doing big things. Yeah, you might know him. I know you've been in that club before. And without further ado, Adar. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Very happy to be here.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure for us to have you here, man. And the thing is, they need to be shared. We had you scheduled for a podcast before, and then you came here and you sat with us for about what, 3-4 hours, and then we had like a lot of wasted content to where it's like we spent 4 hours BSing, going back and forth, and then none of that stuff was recorded. To where by the time
we had a great time over here.
For sure, like we for sure did, and then I've learned a lot from you within that conversation, but. Like we were so like I guess caught up in that conversation to where we never really had a chance to hit record.
Yeah.
And then by the time we were done talking, he was like, "Man, screw this podcast. We're gonna have to schedule it some other time." But man, we're like, without any further ado, man, like I said, man, welcome to the podcast. And like, it's a pleasure for us to have you here. And you are one of those fellow immigrant that I feel like you got a lot of wisdom to share. I've told you that before, that off camera, and I'm saying that on camera. Man, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great. Like I said, I'm happy to be here. I feel the same about you guys. You know, we don't know each other for very long, but I heard a lot of great things about you guys. I've been watching the podcast before too. And like I said, you know, like I'm glad and excited to be here.
So take us back, man. Tell us about Adar, like from the beginning. Give us a little background.
Man, about 20 years ago, my girlfriend back in the day was telling me about, you know, big United States. Her family was here working hard, making some good money. She's like, let's go over there for like a couple months for, you know, Christmas time, make some money and come back home. Well, that was 20 years ago. She left. I'm still here, basically. Since the day I landed here, I really liked it. I felt that like, you know, this is my place, basically. You know, it's very big. You can basically blend in and do your thing without too much eyes on you, too much pressure on you. You can either, you know, do it fast or take your time. And, you know, the hardest thing for me was that I was away from my family, from my best friends that I grew up with and stuff like that. But by the end of the day, I had a goal and I had a dream. And, you know, I decided that, you know, this is me and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, Where are you from exactly? I mean, we know,
So
but
I'm from Israel. I born and raised in Israel. I've been there till about like when I was 21. I was traveling the world for like a year and a half, and then I basically moved here. I only came for 2 months, but that was 20 years ago.
So we actually, so you came in like, where was the first place you come when you come to the United States?
I landed in Boston, to be honest. I've been there during Christmas time for like a couple of months. It was too cold for
I
me.
know, right?
So I moved to Miami. I had some family over there. They helped me, helped me around a little, gave me a job, showed me around. It was cool. It was nice. But then I realized that Miami is very. It's not America. It's not United States. It's very flashy. Like it's all about showing off and like who got more than the other. And it was cool for a second, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't my time. I literally just started, and I'm like, it's not the time for me to like, be part of that. I want to see America. I want to see what, the real thing behind the curtain, basically. So we moved to Texas. We started working over there. A buddy of mine called me about a year later and said, hey man, I kind of work in Louisiana. It's about 3-4 hours away from you. You mind, I need your help. Like come down here to help me for like a couple months. That was 13 years ago.
and you never left, man.
He left.
Man, you like
everybody left,
man,
and I'm still here.
You're like one of those guests you don't want to invite to your house because they might come and never leave.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though because everybody keep asking me why Louisiana, why Lake Charles. Like it's so weird. And I'll tell you something, man. Like seriously, I guess it's very very different from back home, but very very similar. The southern hospitality, the way that people like accept you. People here are religious, and it matters for me too. Even if I'm Jewish and most of people here are Christians still. So I find a lot of similarities that make me feel home. And I guess, that may be what kept me here all those years, because I kind of had that feeling that like I might be away from home, but I'm kind of still home. And like I said, like all the other big places, New York, Miami, LA, for me, like it's cool, but it's not the real thing. It's not the real deal. Like it's like I said, it's very flashy, it's big, it's like who got more than the other, stuff like that, and I'm not there. Like it's not who I am.
So you come to work in Lake Charles, and then specifically in Lake Charles, or you were somewhere else?
No, we worked in Monroe, we worked in Shreveport, we worked in Lafayette, and me and my business partners back in the day split up. He left Louisiana and I stayed, and that time I was running the businesses here in Lake Charles. And I really felt that the southern hospitality was basically the thing that kept me here. And I'll be honest, Lafayette was great, and then Lake Charles was even better for me, and that's where I'm at right now.
But I gotta say this though, because recently me and him we was just talking about like all kind of stuff, and then too I was like, man, look, if everything we're working on just come to fruition, I don't think I'm gonna stay in Lake Charles. That's what I said. And he said, man, I don't know, because Lake Charles feels like home. But
from another like
yeah, but let me refer
to
you, dude. Is Lake Charles basically the home, or is just like that's where you at the moment?
Look, only God knows. I'll be honest with you. We can't know what tomorrow gonna bring us. But right now, this moment, I feel at home. I'm happy to wake up in the morning over here and to see people. I want to tell you something. Like, I'm part of the community, and I see that a lot of people don't feel or see it like I do, and I think that they miss a lot. Maybe because they born and raised over here, so they see it differently. But I really think that we might have some misunderstanding or some issues sometimes or stuff like that. But mainly it's real. Like it's real. People think that if they're gonna go out to the big cities, Houston, Miami, whatever, so they're over there like everything is diamonds and gold and everything is great. No, it's 100 times harder. You know, so I think that because they're from here, born and raised, and they maybe didn't felt or like tried like be out there, so they think that over there is better. But personally, my opinion, I think it's not. I think that first of all, if you have your mindset to be successful and to like grind and like be the best, it doesn't matter where you at. Number one. Number two, when it's smaller and you can be part of the community, it should be easier for you, because by the end of the day, you go to Houston, you're like a sand,
like a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah,
just like that. So by the end of the day, when we're just talking about Houston, we're not even going to Miami, LA, Vegas,
and New York, the biggest
New York,
of the biggest.
all that. So to be a part of a community in Houston or other those places, you really gotta like do big. You know what I'm saying? But here, you can work hard and you can be part of the community without like going overboard or like being a multi-millionaire, like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that like people don't realize that, but by the end of the day, they have to go and try themselves as well. So if they feel that they don't like it or whatever, they need to go to Houston. They need to go to Miami. They need to go to other places to feel and see the difference, and then they can choose. Maybe it's going to be good for them, maybe not. But they need to go and do that themselves.
yeah. People usually have the tendency, because the fact that you was born and raised here, so you always feel like, man, they got to have something better than Lake Charles.
Yeah.
They have to have something like out there. Like, man, I'm sick and tired of Lake Charles. And me, come from like Haiti, I mean, like, man, this is like quiet. There's not too much traffic, and then you can be successful. Lake Charles changed my life. I always say, man, if I was your color, man, I would have Lake Charles tattoo on my body already. I always say that because so I feel home. But yeah, I might like you can have like big money. You can always travel. You can always go to New York and stay there a few days. You can go to Miami and like this. At the end of the day, when you come back to Lake Charles and like you part of the community, everybody's know you, and you're doing good things in the community. Why not?
It's not. First of all, I agree 100%, but it's not just about that. I like that when you want to do something, you can do something. When you want to, like Houston is not far. You got casinos over here. You got some nice places to go here. You got nice restaurants. We got it here too. Some other small places don't have it. And then when you want that peace, this is here as well. Not a lot of places that you can like think of have both at the same time, at the same place. And for me, it's very, very important, because this is my recharge. So I will go, I will work hard, I will do whatever. And then when I want to go home, I don't want to be stuck in traffic for like hour and a half. I don't want to hear like too much noise of traffic and craziness and people yelling, whatever. I want to hear the birds. I want to hear like the water, stuff like that.
Like, just to add up to what you just said, and as you like, he kind of also say like a lot of people that was born and raised out here, they always tend to feel like, okay, there's more out there than there's in Lake Charles. And then I lived in Florida for 6 months. Everything in Florida, it doesn't matter where you're trying to go get grocery. It's 45 minutes away.
Easy. And 1 mile away.
Exactly. And the thing is probably like 2-3 miles away, but with traffic and everything else, that's how much it's gonna take you to get there. But in Lake Charles, it's completely different because it's a small city. If you go to New York, if you choose to drive a vehicle, to where like you may say, hey man, I don't like to ride the train or whatever,
biggest mistake.
You're gonna be paying for parking. Let's just say if you got an apartment. And I went out there and I know people that's out there. If you choose to own a car, it doesn't matter what kind of car. It could be like a freaking Prius, for all they know. You're gonna pay, on top of paying God knows how much for a freaking apartment that is like a freaking small ass box. You're gonna be paying a lot of money just to park your car. And then rent is gonna be extremely expensive. Even as like somebody that visits New York, if you just want to park your car for an hour or two, that's gonna be like $100 an hour. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
So people tend to underappreciate those things. They underappreciate like the simplicity of Lake Charles. Because Lake Charles is extremely simple. Because if you go to Houston, wherever it is you go, you got to pay toll. A few years ago, I stayed in Jersey and I drove to New York for just one trip. I paid $82 worth of toll.
You see, it's not all. It's not all about it. First of all, it's crazy for sure. But I'll tell you something. Yes, other places can be better, can be, can offer you much more. The question is what it got to do with you. It means that you're gonna be part of it. I mean, who said so? Yeah, Miami is much better than here, but so what? That means that the best that it can offer, you're gonna be part of it. It's very, very hard to get to those places. That's what I said. Everything is so big. Everything is so you gotta work 100 times better to get to those points. So sure, Miami gonna have much more to offer. But who say they're gonna
you're gonna be part of it?
Yeah.
So you might be on the outside working at McDonald's and just see the good part from the outside.
Not like to disrespect or anything like that. Most likely we're not gonna be part of it. I'm super serious. It's so hard to get to those points. You guys need to understand that the players over there are 100 times
retired billionaires, guys who got yachts,
for real.
And
They either got big rich families or whatever. They're in a whole different level than most of us. So I mean, I'm not comparing, but I'm saying yes, a lot of places got a lot to offer, but who say it's for you? So you can go and you can try, but I promise you, it's not going to be easy.
It's gonna be 10 times harder, especially if you're from the South. You move to another city that is such a big city. I feel like unless you're on a certain career path, let's just if you're like a doctor or something of that sort, maybe that might be a bit more.
I am a doctor, but I forgot my degrees in Israel before I came.
So Walker, so you come here, you in Lake Charles. How's the whole Bisou coming into play?
Man, listen. Since the day I was born, I sold something to the doctor that delivered me. For me, I always see opportunities. I wake up in the morning, I look at the grass, I see opportunity. How can I make that grass not grow too fast? And you won't have to pay $100 every week to get it cut. This is me, for real.
So therefore you seek shortcuts. That's an argument we had off camera. But we'll let that go.
I seeked shortcuts.
Okay. Past tense.
Today I'm paying the guy cut the grass. Leave me alone.
Okay.
By the way, there is such a thing like a chemical that you can put in the grass and it make it grow slower. Cause I already checked, but it's so expensive. It's barely worth it. So let's go back to So I tell you what. I started going out. I started meeting people, stuff like that. And at one point I was sitting at the bar and I'm like, why I'm not doing it for myself? Cause I had the feeling that, I go to the bar, bring some people with me, we spending money, we having fun. We basically the next day or the next weekend that we're gonna go out, we're gonna bring more people. Hey, come see me over there. Let's have some fun, let's talk, let's drink, let's dance, let's play pool, whatever. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, why I'm not doing it for myself? And I started looking around, it was a funny story though. It was around COVID. And everybody's like, why are you looking around? It's COVID. We all gonna get screwed very, very soon. And I said, okay, so he said no, he said no, he said no, he said no. Everybody got excuse why not. That's the time to do it. And everybody thought I'm crazy. I literally put money at a place when everybody's saying soon everything gonna be closed. And I'm like, great, I watched a movie when I was a kid. And that guy said, when is the best time to buy a weapon is after the war, not when it's, when it's happening. Because when it's happening, everybody need it. It's going to be the highest. So after the war is when everybody throw their weapons and leave so you can get it for scrap, for cheap. So basically what it's saying, when nobody needs it, when nobody said that's what they want to do, this is when you need to go and get it. Because soon people will want it, right?
It's true.
Well, I bought the place, I renovated, and they start saying, all bars gonna be shut down, whatever. Sit down with all the rules that the governor gave back in the day. And I'm like, okay, how can I play around it? Because I just put money in. I'm not closing. I know that's the easy way, just to, shut the door, go home. But that's not who I am. So how I'm working around it. And then I saw that they closing bars, but they letting restaurants, stay open and stuff like this. So I'm like, okay. So first of all, I'm not a bar. But what you mean you're not a bar? You were a bar. I said, no, I'm not a bar. I'm a restaurant. Here, look, what you want to eat? You want a burger? I got you. So, I'm like, this is how I play the game. There is rules, cool. I'm not breaking no rules. I play around the rules. How can I make it work with the rules supporting me, right? So I need to sell food? Cool. I got a kitchen. Let's sell food. So I'm going to put more effort and more attention to that kitchen. So I will be a restaurant. And that's how I did. And then they said, hey, you can't serve liquor after 11 p.m. I said, okay, cool. I'm not. Who want to buy a bottle at 10:50? Did I break any rules? I did. So they came up to me and say like, hey man, look, it's 1 a.m. and people here with a bottle. I said, sir, look at his receipt. So he looked, it's like 10:50. Okay, we need to talk about it. I said, sir, there is nothing to talk about. You told me I cannot serve liquor after 11. I only serve them juice. If they ran out of juice, I give them juice. If they ran out of ice, I give them ice. They bought that liquor before. Well, the agents didn't like it. But by the end of the day, like I said, I didn't break the
rules, man.
Okay? So this is how my brain works. This is how I function. By the end of the day, you guys need to understand. And after all that craziness of COVID passed, I sat with that agent and I told him, I want you to understand one thing. I never meant to disrespect you guys. I understand that you guys doing your job, but you guys need to understand that I'm doing my job as well. By the end of the day, if I listen to all those rules and didn't think a little bit outside of the box, I'll probably be like in 100, 150, maybe 200,000 debt right now. Would you if I will ask for help, you gonna help me? If somebody else will help me? No, right? I will be on my own. So I want to be on my own before I'm getting myself into that kind of craziness that I need to deal with. So I understand that the easiest way to do is to lock the door, go home, and just wait for, for somebody to tell me, hey, you can open the door tomorrow. What you mean? Where is all the bills for all that time that passed? Where is all the employees that I lost because my door was closed? Where is all that food and liquor that or whatever juice that went to the trash because it was closed for 2 or 3 months? Nobody think of that. They just tell you close the door. We're going to talk to you later. That's not how I work. I got to grind. I got to work hard. I got to think outside the box because if it's not me, it's nobody else.
But let me say this, what's the difference between thinking outside the box or seeking shortcuts? Because we kind of had a back and forth off camera about that.
You're not going to let the shortcut.
No,
okay, guys, listen, guys. Let me explain.
I got to hear this part.
Last time what happened was he was saying that he loves shortcuts. I said that I used to love shortcuts, but I don't really believe in them anymore. So now he's trying to get back at me and kind of.
I'm trying to get a full understanding.
No.
The outside the box in my book is a shortcut.
No, I cannot agree with you.
Okay, let's hear your how it differs.
Think outside of the. Okay, so explain me how me looking for ways to stay open is a shortcut.
No, but the thing is, I feel like it's a compromising in definition. Because me personally, the way I
didn't compromise. I work much harder to find a way to do that. Actually, it's not a shortcut. I work harder.
Yeah.
But you know what is a shortcut for me? They told me to close the door and go home. This is a shortcut because that's your own business. That's your own bills. It's a shortcut to do so, just to lock the door and go home and wait for them to tell me to.
And I agree with you 100%.
But to sit in front of the computer, and I swear to you, they had a website that had all those rules, and every 45 days they will change it. I had it open on my screen. I never closed it. Every 45 days I will refresh it, see what changed and what I need to do to make my door open. Swear to you.
And I agree with you.
No shortcuts.
And I agree with you. And I feel like that's like, I guess it's the way we look at the definition of it. Because me personally, I'm going to tell you like how I approach things. The moment I'm doing something and then somebody set the rules and laws and what can and cannot be done, or whatever the case might be, the way I approach it, I tend to look at it and be like, okay, that's what they said. Let me see how I can get to my goal by using these rules that they claim.
How is that a shortcut, bro?
But thing is, in a sense, it's a shortcut.
No.
Okay, let me ask you this though.
If you sat down and worked harder to find a solution.
But it is in a sense a shortcut. It's kind of like you find an easier way to get it done to other
How
rules
that's
of the law.
easy?
That's not shortcut.
You gotta deal with the consequences because nobody gonna like it. They wanted you to close the door and go home.
But think about it. You see how
The
you.
second you think outside of the box, or if you call it shortcut, whatever.
But
you
in a
call
sense, it is a shortcut. If you want to
No,
agree to it or
it's
not.
not a shortcut.
Okay, so therefore, what's the definition of a shortcut?
I mean, so let's say like if shortcut is something you're trying to do and that's the easiest way possible. What if done? It's
Well,
not
I'll
easy at
say shortcut is to get to the same result with doing less.
Yes,
Right?
and easy and faster.
So what I'm saying is, first of all, same result. The result that they wanted is to close the bar or close the restaurant. Sorry, I had a restaurant on the bar. The result that I wanted is to stay open, make money, stay afloat, and bring customer and meet people. Like basically the same idea that I had before COVID started, right?
Yeah.
So my goal was to succeed, to make it work.
Which you did.
And for me, I didn't get to the same goal with less things to do. I actually did extra because I was just supposed to keep the door open, like operate as normal, but they changed the rules on me. So now I need to work harder to find solutions for the same results that I wanted from the first place. So if you think about it, before COVID started, I needed to open my bar every day, go work hard, run the employees, do everything good, like meet people, whatever, entertain, and everything is great. But now it's not the way. Now they want me to close the door. So what I need to do, beside all that we just talked about, to get me to my goal, now I need to find ways to actually make it happen with new rules that I didn't have last week. So I actually work much harder to get to the same result. No shortcut.
And I agree with you 100%. But let me ask you this though: that understanding that you got to where you feel like, okay, I can just look at the system and find a way to work with the system and get the outcome that I've always wanted. Where do you think that mindset come from? Because off camera, you was telling us how much of a great businessman and a salesman you are, and you like me. If I want to sell you something, I will sell you something. You were telling us like how you sold your parents a certain dream, even though your parents are extremely strict. Like, where do you think that came from?
Man, you know what? I'll call it like a street smart, and I'm not saying I'm, the smartest out there, but I feel that, because I'll tell you something, both of my parents, most of their life worked for, somebody else, company, whatever. And then I cannot tell you they got it in them. Like today, I'm almost 40 years old. And when I look at them, they're like amazing people, great people, but they're not, how can I call it, hustlers. They were like, if my parents were here and it were their bar, they would probably close the door like everyone else.
Yeah.
For me, I feel that I always been a good salesperson, but the day I stepped in here and I realized that it's like, basically, okay, I'll put it that way. I left my family, they're over the ocean. I left my best friends, I left my home, I left my country, I can say I left my religion behind too, because over there it's like so much easier to practice it when it's around you all the time, I left all of it and I said, I gotta find like a reason for all of it.
That understanding that you have, that sense of business, to where like the moment you find yourself within a situation, your mind just goes, how can I make this work? How can I get the best out of this? Where do you think this came from?
To be honest, man, I really think it's God, and keep trying and keep working hard and keep hustling, because there is no other way. It's like street smart, like seriously, that's what it is. I think it's always been in me, but like a seed. And then when I realized that I got that seed in me, I was making sure to keep watering it and keep like paying attention to it, and like grow it and make it better and better and better all the time. Because by the end of the day, like you said, you're a great salesperson too. I believe that a lot of people can be like great salesperson, but there is something different in some people that, like, if you pay attention to, that most people won't pay attention to, then you can basically get what you want. And I think that's the main difference. And like I told you, my parents are amazing, great people, but I don't see them as like street smart hustlers. My father is amazing. He works with his hands. You give him whatever you can give him, he will fix it, he will make it brand new, probably better than what it was. My mom, very, very book smart. Whatever books you're gonna give her, whatever test you're gonna give her, after that, she's gonna get you like A plus plus plus. Me, I just, I learned from the street. I break a lot. I took a lot of things apart to put them together. Messed up million times, but somehow learned how to find a way to do it right.
And the thing is, in a sense, like your family and mine are somewhat similar, but yet different. Like that movie said, same but different. Like, you know that movie?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Like growing up, my dad was like the smart one, book smart, and the whole 9 yards, and my mother was the hustler. And the thing is, that was like back in Haiti. And coming here to America about a month ago, I was having a conversation with my mother, explaining to her how the DMV work in America, because it's two different worlds. The world that she knew so much about, and coming to America is a whole different world, a whole different language, and a whole different culture. And one thing, me personally, that I faced coming here within this country, is kind of like, because I went to high school out here. I got here in the 10th grade, went to the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade out here. And the one thing that I always felt like that I was lacking is the lack of understanding of how this country works. And going to high school, like dealing with other kids around my age, and then they were so culturally like involved and understanding what was going on, who was popping, what kind of rap artist was the best, and so on and so forth. And I always felt like I was lacking something in a sense, because I couldn't like be on the same level as them when it comes to understanding. Of course, right now it's a whole different story, but I've always felt like I was like behind the 8 ball, if that makes sense.
The what?
And the 8 ball. It's kind of like, okay, where everybody's at, I was behind them.
Well, I don't see it that way. I think you've just been in a whole different,
But you gotta understand
box.
though. You gotta understand though. You speak with an accent. So do I. So do we.
Who, me?
Yes,
Accent, me?
Hey, I feel the same too, but the moment I open my mouth, like, hey, where you from? And so I feel the same way. I feel like, man, I don't have an accent, but the moment I open my mouth, where you from?
We have an accent, bro.
Yeah, we do. Like, I know, like we do.
I like mine too, to be honest.
I love mine.
It's kind of cool.
I love mine, but it's kind of like whenever you open your mouth, especially the moment they hear you with an accent, maybe I might be the only one who feels like that. There's this level of, okay, this dude is retarded. Type of
who you feel like we thought it was?
It's kind of like I'm gonna tell you what. Let me get to that point though. Have you ever went to first time I went to Chase Bank and I wanted to open my own account, right? And I went there. I'm like, hey, my name is so and so. I got all my card, my information with me, my social security. I want to open a bank account. And the lady just looked at me and I remember the first thing she kind of asked me. She didn't ask me directly, but she kind of did. Are you legal in this country? No, honestly though, and then that sense of retardedment to where I feel like I'm getting treated as if I'm retarded.
Listen, I want to rephrase what you said earlier. Not retarded, but I'll tell you exactly what you felt. You felt different. You felt that you gotta prove yourself. You gotta, if somebody that's born and raised over here will walk into the bank with flip-flop shorts, like, hey, open me a bank account. He feels like they're gonna open no matter what. We feel like, oh no, we gotta dress nice, we gotta go prove ourselves, like, be nice to the teller, whatever. So they will open us one. And I understand that. And it's also, it makes sense if you think about it. Because you're not from here. You're an outsider to a certain, So yes, you gotta prove yourself to like again to a point. And at first, for sure at first. So when you were in it's just few years. You worried about everything. You're not sure if you're doing it right or not. It's a whole different culture. It's a whole different world for you, basically. So yeah, you gotta prove yourself because you are an outsider. And by the end of the day, if you think about it, it's like that in life in general. Because everything new to your life, you're gonna be more careful, you're gonna pay more attention. And as more and more that you feel more comfortable, you're gonna care less. Look at me for an example. I'll see people come to my bar. First time they come, they see, they nice, they smile, hey, where is the restroom? Yeah, after 5 times they walk in a kitchen. Like if you think about it, first time they've been an outsider, they never been here. After that, they feel comfortable, so we're like, oh, whatever. So for us, we always gonna have the feeling we gotta prove ourselves. And for me personally, I like it. I love it because it's keep me on my toes all the time. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I'm not gonna feel too comfortable with everything because this is, if you ask me, this is what put people behind all the time. When you feel too comfortable, you lose. So for me, to always feel like I gotta prove myself, it's first of all to me, second of all to the surrounding. You can call it America, the people, my parents, whatever. But that's how I see it. And I love it to myself. I love it that every morning I wake up and I remember that I gotta prove myself, first of all to myself, then to the surrounding. Because the second you feel comfortable, you lose. Like 100%.
Okay, but the thing is, as a businessman in America, as a successful businessman nonetheless, do you feel like in a sense like you kind of like got over the hump? Or
What
is
you
it
mean?
like over the hump too? It's kind of like, okay, now I'm showing you, like allow in a sense, I understand what y'all got going on now and I done mastered it.
Not even close.
Elaborate on that. If you don't mind.
Well, first of all, I'm not where I want to be. Like,
For
I
sure,
feel that there
for
is like
sure.
a long road ahead of me. Second of all, like I told you, the second you feel that way, you feel comfortable, you're going to lose. You basically, the second you're going to feel, I got it, you're showing all your cards, you're going to lose. So for me, and I think we talked about it last time too, I call it the comfortable chair. The second you feel too comfortable in your chair, your life, your chair is your life, you're going to lose. You're going to fall asleep, you're going to lose. I got a great couch at the house. Every time I lay down in it, I feel too comfortable, I fall asleep. Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, I had to do something. Basically, I see it as like our life as well. These are comfortable chair. As more comfortable you're going to feel, you're going to lose. You're going to show all your cards. Don't show your cards. Don't feel comfortable. Feel like you're going to wake up every day and prove yourself. It doesn't matter if you got $10 at the bank or 10 million at the bank. It's the same thing. And the second people are going to realize that, everything going to be so much easier for them.
And truth is, I agree with you 100%. It's kind of like, well, like you said, the moment you feel comfortable, you lose. It's kind of like you pull your foot off the gas. And what I'm trying to say is the complete opposite of that. What I'm trying to say is whenever I first came here, because things that used to be such a big deal to me, like things kind of like that used to blow my mind, like the culture, what people got going on, the country, the weather, the whole 9 yards. That used to feel like a big deal to me. I've overcame these things to where it's like right now, yet I'm not comfortable, but just for the fact that I can understand shit that always felt like that was so far away from me, it gives me that sense of understanding.
Like
and then
what? Give me an example.
I'm gonna give you an example. Maybe that might be a little bit childish, but I'm gonna give it to you nonetheless. When I first came in America, like a thing is, I got here a little bit younger than most people. When I first came in America, like the young kids around my age, thing that they used to value. I'm talking about clothes, shoes, who got a nice car, who's going outside the country, the basic shit. But now I'm on a level to where I can just do all these things. Because back then, when I used to look at this type of thing, because I used to have like regular basic jobs, jobs where I see people coming in and do so it's like the most basic thing you could probably ever think of. But in my mind, I used to look at it, oh my God, that is such a big deal. But now that I overcame all these things, it always seems like I'm looking at people that still making a big deal out of those things too. And now I feel like I understand I've achieved something that the people that used to be the people setting up the example for me, now I've done surpassed it. And it's not because I'm comfortable, but it's just for the fact that I surpassed it. It's kind of like, in a sense, unless it's somebody like you, for example, like somebody that understands the better goal, that the person that don't understand the comfortability within things. Unless I'm addressing one of those people, most people around me just bore me. If that makes sense. I know I kind of went all around the place with it, but I don't know if that quite makes sense what I'm trying to explain to you.
Oh,
right
I
now.
understand. I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes, in a sense, is who you around. I have to look at it. Okay, you come to this country, you're not used to those people. You're not used to the culture. Of course, everything's gonna look different. I mean, in your mind, plain in your mind, you probably think like, yeah, you so far, but truly you wasn't that far. It's all in your head. But I understand the whole thing. But like you said, you feel like you're accomplished. They got so many people here. When you're looking at it and come from Haiti with nothing, you can accomplish so much. Now you're looking at the shit that used to be a big deal. Back in the day, it's not a big deal. But you're looking at the same people that was born here. Those things are still a big deal for them. But I understand when you compare to somebody like Adar or somebody in that level that you are right now, and you feel like it's kind of like or those people like bore you because now he understand what it needs to get to be successful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
but
agree.
I still don't. I still, like I said, I still.
But it's just like it's who you are.
But
around.
I agree a lot with the first thing he said. He said it's who you are around, and that's the whole thing. Because you can say what you just said because who you are around, but if I'll put you like next to, multi-millionaires, you're gonna feel nothing.
You're gonna feel like right back to where you was in
but
high
I want to
school.
tell you something. As for everything that you said about culture, the way they dress, the way they talk, I still not there, not me. Like, for me, I still do what I did since day one. I never changed it,
You've changed. You might not be able to see it, but you've changed.
The only thing that changed is I used to have like much thicker accent back in the day. now I have a little bit of better
But I'm gonna tell
accent
you
that
what,
people
the
can
mind, the
understand.
goal, and the dream haven't changed, but in a sense, you've changed. Because think about it. If you
We grow up, of course,
of
we
course,
change, and I'm pretty sure that if I was still back home, I'll probably grow up to be someone else. But in a sense, I can tell you that I never really changed towards like the surrounding. I changed for who I am. So till this day, I can dress up here and go out and people look at me weird, like, what are you wearing? For an example.
Yeah.
I could have easily, go to like a local store, buy clothes and like feel more welcome, or not welcome because I feel welcome, but like more
fit in more.
Yes. But no, I never did it. I probably don't even own one, a clothing that, a camouflage, for an example. I don't even own one thing. I live like in Louisiana for over 10 years, like just for an example.
No, I agree with
Because
you.
I changed, but for myself, for what I like, for what I feel.
Exactly. You've improved. You find things that you like within the culture.
I changed
and make it your own.
For what make me feel that I improve myself. And that's it, my jeans used to be even more tighter back in the days. Now
they're a bit more looser.
let me ask you this question. As a businessman, and in business, like people, a lot of people, like 80% of people who start business usually fail, right? But like as a businessman, why you feel like some businessmen usually fail? Can you see like why you think like people that's in business was the number one thing make people like not succeed when they're in business?
I'll tell you something. First day we met, me and you, we sat at Bisou, and you asked me if you can explain yourself in one word. You remember what word I told you?
Ooh, I forgot.
I told you loyalty.
Yes, loyalty.
Okay.
I remember that.
Now I'll tell you something. I feel that nothing can replace loyalty. You cannot buy it. You cannot if somebody is loyal, if somebody is not, is not. And I'll explain you something. I see so much value in that word and that, thing And I feel that like people have a small problem with that. They're not loyal all the way, not only to the surrounding, but also for themselves. I'll tell you something. For me, I failed before too, but I don't accept it. I'm loyal to to succeed. And this is the only way I see it. So I will fall a million times, but you know what is the most important? The 1,000,001 that you got up. One day I posted a video and I said, it doesn't matter if you fall 7 times, as long as you stood up 8 times. And this is the only way I see it. I'm loyal to my success. I'm never going to give up. It's never even going to pass my mind. And I feel that giving up is the easiest thing to do. So people think that if they try once and they fail, let me try again and try to. I don't put numbers on those things. I can fail 100 million times. I promise you I will still get up like one more time. And that's why I told you loyalty is everything for me. Because if I'm loyal to the people around me, if I'm loyal to my success, it's gonna happen. And this is what matters. This is how I see things.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people sometimes, like let's say for instance you started a business of selling bottled water, and then it didn't work out. But then you can tell like, man, you know what? Maybe like when I was bottled water, maybe like not many people just don't like the water because it's so plain. Maybe if I sell soda, they might work that. And you try soda, man, it started working, it's not working again. And then now you can say, man, you know what? Maybe if I still sell people like to hanging out, maybe if I sell a beer, but the process is you keep going. Eventually, something gonna happen. But all this knowledge you accumulate over the years, now you know what works, what doesn't work, where you can have it. Eventually, something's gonna click and it's gonna make sense.
What we left about last time so many times, even broken clock will give you the right hour twice a day.
Absolutely.
You need to understand something, man, like for real. By the end of the day, you can fail a million times. And people think, I worked so hard last time and it didn't work. The fact that you worked hard means nothing. I'll show you people that started something, didn't work hard, and freaking made millions and had a great success. What that means? That you got to work hard? No, you got to work smart. You got to do the right thing at the right time. And that's the whole point of being loyal to your success. Keep doing it. Don't give up, because the right time will come. You don't have to work that hard as you think. You can have a lot of shortcuts like this guy right here.
Hey, guess what? Somebody been working for me. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is that for real, even a broken clock will give you the hour, the correct hour twice a day. And maybe you just started a second after the right hour just passed and you have to go the whole way again. But keep doing it because it's going to come. And like I said, the main thing, because I have some conversation, people like to come to my bar when I'm there. They have few drinks in them and they feel comfortable and they like, spill the beans and stuff. And they tell me, I tried that, it didn't work. I was working so hard. And I always tell them, it's not all about working hard. It's about working smart. Dude, between us, some kids this day work on YouTube, work on, e-commerce, stuff like that, made millions of dollars where we basically, trying to open businesses, big bars, big whatever, and they make it like seem so easy. Some kids put like freaking some money on crypto and they're like millionaires out. And like I said, it's the right time, the right moment, the fact that you didn't give up. And you always remember, be loyal to your success, be loyal to yourself, and it will come. And it's not all about working hard. And I keep telling them that you can work hard million times. It doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to do or that's what need to be done.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes like when you do something and I don't feel like failure is when you quit. I always never think that's something as failure. If you do something and it didn't work, and then you can sit down and say, okay, I did this, it didn't work. There is a reason it didn't work. So you can see that, okay, you know what, let me try something else. Then you try something that it didn't work. But eventually you accumulate so much knowledge. Now you're in a different level than where you didn't do nothing. Like somebody that sit on this couch, oh man, where do I start? Till you start, oh shit, you started, okay, this didn't work. But now you not even realize that you think like, oh man, it didn't work, and you stop. but you forgot that there is somebody that don't know that what you know right now. And it's gonna make the same mistake you made, but he kept going and going and going. Eventually, he got the biggest business. You know what I mean?
Okay,
What you feel about failure?
Like, let me simplify everything you guys just said into a typical American saying that goes, if there is a will, there is a way. Because if you really want it that bad, failure ain't gonna stop you. And you know, a lot of people say giving up is easy. I say, if you are somebody that is driven, giving up is the hardest thing ever.
Bro, failure is only when you accepted it.
But think of that family that if like as you were saying, you are loyal to your success, right? So which means after you've tried this and this and this and that didn't quite work. If you are somebody that wants it that bad, giving up hurts way more than it does to just go out there and face failure. Because whenever you're out there, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, it's gonna bite at you more than it would when you know you're trying. Whenever you know you're trying, you still got hope. You still got that little thread of hope that keeps you going. But whenever
Hope
you give
is
up
a whole
completely,
different thing. Hope is all about your
but it keeps you going. Like it keeps you going. Like it keeps you thriving. It keeps you believing, okay, there's a chance this might happen. And that little bit of chance keep you alive. But whenever you know there's no chance at all, and you know you want it that bad, it makes it about 100,000 times harder to just give up
hope is
completely.
a very big thing. And I'm all about hope, but I'll tell you something. If you feel that there is a hope, it means that you can fail too.
Absolutely.
There is no hope. There is only success.
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you where the misunderstanding happened. Though.
I
Like when
understand
you,
what
no, no,
Adar
no.
is
I
saying.
understand what he's saying. Hope leads, like when you got hope towards a lot of things, it leads
Hope
to the
means that
biggest.
maybe you're not gonna make it.
But it leads to the biggest disappointment. I understand that. More hope, the bigger the disappointment. I get that. But at the same time,
Focus with hope on other things. Why you need to focus on your success.
whenever you were trying, whatever it is you were trying back then, you still had some sort of belief because you didn't know for sure. You just know you're trying. So that whatever it is that kept you going is called hope. Can we agree with that or disagree?
Well, I
mean, you
I
can-
don't know.
I mean,
I
you can-
have hope when I pray.
You can
You know,
give it
when
like,
I pray, I think that hope is something holy. You know, but maybe when I was younger, I saw it as hope. Now I'll tell you, I see it as hope is holy. It's something that, like, people that can have kids can hope for kids. That's how I see it. But by the end of the day, as for business, as for success, why you need to bring hope to everything?
Let me make it a bit simpler for you. Let me ask you this. Whenever you pray, like you were doing the whole bar thing during COVID, right? And then a lot of people say you was gonna fail, and then so what
Hope
was that
had
feeling?
nothing to do with
What
it.
was that feeling that drove you, even though you were
Not
doing it?
hope.
What was it? What would you call it?
The fact that I knew that I can do it by the end of the day. I
So
knew that.
basically, you would call it belief.
Well, you want
you can call it whatever you want, but I mean, I understand where Adar comes from.
I understand
He doesn't,
what
he
you're
doesn't
saying,
even
though.
like. So you trying to give it a name. You trying to work it to somebody. He don't even think about it to that point where he's even
What I'm asking
attribute
you,
to anything. He just feel like
why
there's
you need to bring hope to be a part of it? Why?
Because me, the way I'm looking at it, I feel like maybe it's like a verbiage issue in a sense, but I feel like whatever it is you're doing, there's a bit of hope into it. If you hop in a car right now, after this whole podcast is over with, whether you and me want to call it hope or not, you hope to get home because you do know you can get in a wreck. God forbid. You do know you
But
get
you see, now that's exactly what I said. Hope is when you pray. So let's pray that I go get home safe. You know?
But at the same time,
I see what Adar is doing.
I mean,
bro.
I see what he's doing.
Why I opened the business and I need to say, I hope it will be okay. I hope it will be a success. Why? Let's make it a success. Let's make it work.
So you mean to tell me like you don't have that shred of
Why
doubt?
I need to bring a word that have a question mark at the end?
So you don't have that shred of doubt into anything you do. You just believe in it.
Again, why we
wholeheartedly.
bring it out to that? Why you want to bring it in? Why you want to use, imagine that you have a cup of energy over here. That this is all the energy you can give to your business. So you put success, you put that. Why I need to bring doubt, hope, maybe yes, maybe not? Why? Forget about those things. Focus on let's make it work. My uncle died 2 years ago. He was a very, very smart man. He told me one day, I don't like to go to the doctors and stuff like that. If I don't feel well, I lay down, I relax, I drink a lot of water. You know, if I passed out, I guess ambulance will come and get me to the hospital, but I won't go. Okay. And I talked to him on the phone. I didn't talk to him much, but I talked to him on the phone one day, and he was a nurse. And I told him, listen, man, I'm never sick, so I'm not worried about it. I'll be okay. You know what he told me? He said, what did you just say? I said, I'm never sick. I sick once a year and I'm okay like the rest of the year. He said, so why you need to say it like that? I said, what you mean? He said, say I'm always healthy. I said, wait, what? He said, it's the same thing, right? But see, like, listen to what you said and listen to what I said. I'm never sick. I'm always healthy.
Chill.
Bro, we said the same thing,
You
right?
said the same thing.
But here
Chill.
I'm positive. So why I need to bring hope and doubt and maybe yes and maybe not and maybe people may like me and maybe not? No. Let's fill all our glass of energy with positive things. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to be a success. I'm going to make money. I'm going to meet a lot of interesting people. I'm going to I'm going to make my goals. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to go to sleep with. That's what I want to wake up with.
Because I think the same way Adar think, but sometimes it's just like, I never tried to think about the negative. So if something actually happened, I feel like, okay, something down the line happened. I'm not going to sit here trying to, oh man, like, and that's the thing is like, that's me and him, like, that's the difference. Like, I understand he's very pessimistic and a lot of things. Like, he always trying to go to the negative so much and like, decompose the whole negative to see
I hope
everything.
for world peace. I hope that, Israel and Palestine will have like a understanding and they will live together like they used to. I hope for things that you really need to pray for, but not for things like that because there is no reason for us to even think like that.
So basically, if I understand you just right, you're basically saying you only put hope in things that you don't have a hand in. The moment like you got something to do with it,
here you go. You simplified it in one
That's
word.
That's not arrogant at all. That's a way of thinking. And I'm thinking in my head.
No, listen. It's not about being arrogant. I'm telling you that because I'm going to sleep with it. I wake up with it. It might won't work, but that's the only thing I want to think of.
But
okay,
that's not arrogant.
The thing is, I agree with you 100%. But a lot of time when I speak that way, when I'm telling people, hey, the moment I say something,
so now you're worried about what people think. You're not going to succeed either.
It's not a question of what people think.
It's not the way Adar said it. The way you said it.
No.
So you have to be careful with that because the way Adar says things.
No. Listen, like a lot of time when I'm talking to like about whatever it is, what I'm saying, I'm like, okay, the moment if I say it's gonna happen, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Because I know I'm not gonna give up till make it happen, and everything that you just said right now, maybe you may have worded it differently compared to which she did compared to how I worded it, but I believe it wholeheartedly. But whenever I say those kind of things, to where like I'm speaking with you, to where like I can just make it happen with my bare hands, and I always get to be I get accused of being arrogant.
Nah, that's not the same thing.
Listen,
I'm gonna tell you something.
Listen, I'll tell you something, okay? Before I forget. When you said arrogant or whatever, you need to understand something. The way I look at things are very, very different. Because first, I'm not worried about what people think. Because like I said, if I was worried about what other people thought back in the day, Bisou wasn't a thing. This is number one. Number two, I always say, if you think something different, I'm like willing to sit down and talk about it and figure it out. But by the end of the day, I always gonna think positive. I always gonna see it that way. And like I said, the main difference between most people is that they see failure as failure. I don't see failure as a thing. I never failed. I just learned something in a hardest way, for an example. So let me tell you something. The day that I had a business for a year and it didn't work and I closed it, people say your business fell. I don't see it like that. I learned something for a year. He just said that. I learned something for a whole year and I met new people. I learned new things that I didn't know a year ago. I know how to deal with new things that I didn't know how to deal like a year ago and many more things. So why it's a failure? You learn so much in a year. Maybe you didn't make money because that's the last goal that you're seeking, but you learn so many things. You're a whole different person. It's not, I would say fail. If somebody opened a business, went to sleep, woke up a year later, nothing happened, he just lost a bunch of money. This is a failure. But if he went over there every morning, woke up in the morning, been there, manage employees, hired employees, fired employees, made money, lost money, invest money, how that's a failure?
Like when you look at the thing hindsight, especially after you lost and you keep on going and then to where you accumulate of the knowledge that you've gained from the previous.
You lost what?
Money, time, that
You
didn't lose time.
No.
You didn't lose time, and that money that you lost, you paid for what you learned during that time that you in the process.
And I agree with you 100%, but I don't think you understand what I'm trying to tell you right now. Because what I'm currently trying to tell you right now is failure is a thing. Like,
it's only depends how you look at it.
I wouldn't call it negative exactly. It depends on how you're looking at it. But whenever you set yourself within a path to achieve something and it didn't quite work, like if you keep on going, like whether you keep on going or stop, it's still failure nonetheless.
Okay, let me ask you this. Right. So let's say, for instance, let's say example in the basketball. So every year when them guys plays and then they didn't win the championship, did they fail?
Yeah, they failed.
No, they didn't.
Okay, what would you call it then?
It's not a fail, but now...
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends on how you're looking at it, because I'm going to tell you what though, then why those guys...
Because they got a neck,
but it's still failure.
No. I'll put it that way, okay? I'll put it that way. They didn't achieve the main goal, but they
failed.
Hold on.
They failed to achieve the main goal.
Hold on. They didn't achieve the main goal, but they achieved so many other goals.
Yes.
Now, for an example, they can run better, they can work better, they can shoot better, whatever. So I'm asking you, if you compare, okay? So I'm forget about basketball. Let's talk business, okay?
Go ahead.
You open a business today, okay? First time in your life. You never opened a business before and nobody's supporting you. You used to work 9 to 5, you saved money. Today you open a business. Mm-hmm. A year from now, that business didn't make money. You lost money, okay? You decided you want to close. You call it a failure?
Thing is, I feel like a lot of people are running away from the word failure. Because I feel like that's the thing.
I'm not running away.
But
I'm saying today...
You can choose to move forward, but it's still a failure nonetheless. There's a saying that says failure is a recipe to success.
A year ago, you never hired nobody. Now you hired 20 new employees. A year ago, you never fired nobody. For the last year, you fired 5 employees that you didn't like. A year ago, you didn't know how to open a business, how to open an LLC.
Your taxes and the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
A year ago, you didn't made $1 for yourself before. You worked 9 to 5. Now you did. A year ago, you never had like a business under your name. Now you had. So I just showed you 5 positive things about what happened for the last year, but you want to focus on only the fact that that business didn't make money. You didn't fail, but you achieved 5 new experiences and 5 new expertise that you didn't have last year.
Yes, you did, but that doesn't stop the fact that the business failed.
The business
you did not achieve the goal that
who is the business?
No, the thing is, everything you're saying, I agree with it 100%. You can just pick up all the knowledge that you've accumulated over the years and move forward to the next businesses. Because everything you just said right now, I lived it. I had a business that failed. I had a business that went for 3 years and then failed. But it still failed nonetheless. Does that mean I stopped seeking success? No, I don't. Now I can accumulate every single lesson that I've learned about the business and move forward, but it still failed.
No,
because it did not accomplish what I wanted it to accomplish.
Let me ask you a question. Simple question.
Go ahead.
Did you ever heard the term, if you never failed, you will never know success?
Yes, but
so
you
how
failed.
That's a failure?
No, thing is, it is, like, as you said, go back to what you just said. If you never failed, so which means you failed nonetheless.
But why you focus on the fail? I'm not
focusing on it, but at the same time, it needs to be acknowledged that you failed.
No.
You failed on that task.
You know what? I'll make it harder on you. Mm-hmm. You succeed with failure to success, for success.
I agree with you, but you failed nonetheless.
You didn't.
The thing is, like, I feel like you guys are running away from failure.
All that knowledge about failure, I see it as a success.
It is, but you still
So
failed nonetheless. Because I
okay.
feel like now, right now, you guys are not acknowledging the fact that
I
you
see.
failed to achieve what
No.
you wanted to do.
It's
You
not a
never
failure,
failed.
it's an investment.
Let me tell you
I
something.
could see why would you call it that.
You invest that failure in yourself to learn what it is, to learn how to deal with it, to learn a million other things. That failure was an investment in your future success. That's it.
Okay, I'm gonna say another thing.
It's like you gotta put
Okay,
money into open a
let me ask you
business.
this, though. I gotta say this thing though. Like, I understand what I'm doing. I'm about to ask you right now. Can you call it an investment until you succeeded, or is it a failure while you're still trying?
It's all investment. You only failed and you only like basically didn't make it when you stopped.
Yes.
Because if you think about it, as long as you keep investing in yourself, you didn't fail.
Yes.
You keep investing.
I mean, look, I understand where you're coming from. If we want to be like technical about the failure,
That shit
because
gonna
you
be
failed.
5-hour podcast.
But I mean, it's good. No, I'm just saying. So if you want to talk about like failure as technical, you're trying to be, yes. Did you fail at the task? Yes. But then, like you were saying, you got 5 things that you learned from that you can take and then sit down and think. Now you open a new business. Now they got the mistakes you made on the first one. You already like, so now you started at 1, but guess what? The new business, you started at 5 because you already learned 5.
Yeah, you accumulate all the knowledge that you
100%.
get. Which I agree, but it's the fact
That's what
that
I'm saying,
you
because it's
still
investment.
acknowledge that you
Yeah, but
failed.
if you mean technical, yes,
You
you
did
failed.
fail, but-
Yeah, but you did fail at that.
And that first thing, but you keep on going.
Yes.
So therefore,
You don't really fail.
You
It's
have-
just like I failed, but I actually didn't fail. It's just complicated, but being technical with it.
But I-
yes,
you-
I
you
Call
got-
it
no,
as
you
you
gotta be
want.
big.
Nobody cares how you call it. I'm telling you what you need to see by the end of the day. It's very, very simple. You gotta understand. Okay, you know the saying, everything happened for a reason?
Yes.
I rephrased it for myself.
go ahead. I gotta hear that
Everything
one.
happened for a good reason. Okay? No matter how bad things look sometimes, I see it as for a good reason. I want to tell you something, okay? One of my relationships during life was very, very hard. Hard time, okay? I don't want to like talk about it too much, but it
Yeah.
was like, let's say 2.5, 3 years of like a lot of pressure, like physically, mentally, all of that. And like some days I was like, this is so much. Why it's happening to me, okay? And now I can tell you that I understand completely why. Because to get to the point that you have the best business, the best relationship, the best results of anything, you gotta feel the bottom. You know, my best friend, he's also Jewish. He said, we start from the bottom, now we're here. No, for real.
Yeah.
But seriously, everything like, you know, I literally sat with myself and thought like, why it's happening to me? I'm not a bad person. I like, you know, I never like did anything like extreme to anyone. Like, why it's happening to me? Why I'm going through that shit right now? And today I completely understand because I needed all those tools. I needed to feel all those emotions, all those situations to learn how to control everything in the future.
But let me ask you a question in a second.
So you want to tell me that relationship was a failure? No,
No,
it was an investment in my future relationship that succeeding right now.
But
Yeah, but
okay,
I'm
okay,
just-
let me
I'm
ask you. Well, I got a question for you though. Like I said, I genuinely value your mind, the way you think, and everything. Like, of course, I feel you. It may feel like I'm going back and forth with you right now. It's just the fact
No,
that
I love it.
But,
Don't get me wrong.
Trust me, I'm having a blast right now. That's why I'm saying this podcast my like 5 hours. But let me ask you this though. You said that you've been in the bottom before, right? And then now that you're currently in the bread,
What? Sorry.
you've been in the bottom before.
Yeah.
And then now that you're currently where you are, to where you can go back and be like, okay, I understand why I was in the bottom.
Well, don't get me wrong. I wasn't like in a bottom, like, you know, I've been through hard times.
Yeah, you do a hard time
With
so, like,
everything.
mentally to whatever it is you were dealing
Well,
with.
no,
But have you ever been in a situation to where it's kind of like you do not want to go in that same mental space again?
Thanks God, I always been like, you know, mentally stable, and I was always strong-minded. I was always like, I can't say always, I keep saying always, but like most of the time I was controlling, like, you know, emotions, situations, all of that, okay? But after I've been through all of that, and it wasn't easy, if you're gonna ask me today, if I will choose to do it again, that's what you wanted to ask me?
Yeah, basically.
I'll tell you yes.
But you say that
Because
now
I
that you're in a better
couldn't be
place,
who I am today in nothing without that being part of my life.
Yes, I mean,
No doubt.
I completely understand. Completely understand that because sometimes, like the hard times, yes, when the hard time is happening, is crucial. It's like it's you don't see like it's fucked up. But at the end of the day, you needed that to get to the other side that where you at now. Now you can deal with situation different. You see the mistakes you made. You don't want to do the same things again. So now you mentally better, physically like you better, and you trying to you can advance and get better and better. That's why like there's like you say, you take a one relationship to fucked up, so now you know what you're looking for in the next one. So now there's the things you used to take in this one, you're not allowing in the second one because now your mind is important, your feelings is important. So if that person can't understand that, what's the whole point of even doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
Yeah, I get
how
what you
can
said.
you value the good if you didn't felt the bad before?
Yes.
and I agree
How
with
you know it's bad or good?
I know what you're saying, but let me ask you this though. After everything you just say, quote unquote, you've been through, is it just me, or do you have that same mentality to it, like there's no such thing as the bottom anymore, if that makes any sense?
Well, today I want to look at maybe right now I'm at the bottom too and I need to get even better.
But what I'm
So
saying is, it's
the
kind of
only
like
thing that I
something that will
did is
break
I
you
raised
down.
my bottom.
Like something that will break you down to the level of all the shit that broke you down to. It's kind of like now you feel like you done
I'm
build the
human.
mental strength to it. It's kind of like,
I'm human
I can overcome
and
anything now.
everything is possible, but I can tell you that like I'm much, much wiser, stronger, and ready for
which you kind of answer my
like
question.
for like
to it's kind of like
a-
you're more ready to it's
yeah.
kind of like now ain't no such thing at the
Yeah.
bottom. Whatever the fuck come, I've dealt with worse. I can deal with it.
It's not
again.
about dealing with worse. It's about, by the end of the day, I'm more mature and I'm ready to like, well, if like, today or like yesterday. Okay, so last week, I think I talked to you on the phone. Last week after New Year's Eve, I felt full. Like my energy was like, I felt like I gave everything that I had till that New Year's Eve, right? And everybody was talking to me the day after. And I said, hey guys, I don't want to talk to nobody. From Wednesday through Monday, you guys leave me alone. You can text me maybe. Don't call me. Don't tell me we have a problem. Nothing. I don't want like it. So, like I said, I'm human, and I can feel like a lot of pressure or whatever. But I'm designed for that now. So Monday, and imagine me not doing nothing from Wednesday through Monday. So that's like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, and now it's Monday. All that week that I just passed in one day. I went back home and I told Haley, if anyone been with me today on that Monday, the second they open the truck door, they'll fall from like exhaustion. I'm telling you that my day was like hectic, crazy, from here to there. I'm doing 5 things at a time, like not something that like, somebody that like want to be chill and cool, during the day can do. You got to be on point. You got to be like, you got to know what you're doing. Like if you don't, you're going to lose it in a second, And today I'm more ready for those things. When it's all came up to me, if you put Adar 10 years ago, I'll probably say, fuck it, I'm going home. I cannot deal with that shit. But no, I literally put everything in place. I put priorities. I did everything that I got to do. I went back home and I said, fuck yeah. Like I did it so well, to my opinion, and I feel so much better now. Now I'm going to get some rest, and tomorrow is a new day. But if you put it like Adar from 10, 15 years ago, what's going to happen? Too much stress. I'm leaving everything in the middle, going home, wake up for tomorrow, and it's even worse. You know what I'm saying?
So
I know exactly what you're saying, but
I got a question. If you, I think, if you had to describe life from all the things that you've been through, how would you describe life in one word? Not even in one word, in a sentence. What would you say what is life, what life is.
Man, that's a good one.
I feel like I got a word for it, but I'm gonna let him
I'm
answer.
asking
Yeah, I know.
them the question.
I will need a second. That's very, very deep.
But let me ask you this though: do you think?
I wanna hear you, and I wanna see
No, I
like
think mine is simple and very like me. But let me ask you this: do you consider yourself like a confident person, like somebody who's just
I
like
mean,
a
I
confident?
don't have to
I mean,
tell
that's
you
what I'm
that.
saying.
like keep stuff for myself.
No, you're a confident person.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay, but so do you mean to tell me like you've never actually thought about pretty much kind of what he asked you?
But I'll tell you something. I feel like I always been too. Like I never think that I had a problem with being confident.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm not talking
Well,
about...
maybe when I was younger, it was being arrogant. Now I can tell you that I'm confident. But like when I was younger, for sure it was like, being arrogant and confident at the same time. Now when I matured and I'm older, I can tell you that I basically, I put all that energy through being confident, and I try to leave the arrogant to the side.
It's a fine line. It's
Also,
really
it is a fine
it
line.
is also because that's why I was asking keeping some, because I keep a lot of things for myself to the point that when you're younger, if you win $1,000 at the casino, first thing you're gonna do, bro, you're not gonna believe it, I just won.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today I can control it. I'm not gonna
Tell everybody about it.
yeah. So I think it's the combination of the two. I keep stuff for myself, and I basically take all my energy to being confident and not arrogant. I hope.
Okay, let me go ahead and retract that question to him. If you had to describe life in one sentence, how would that be? Like your life in one sentence.
He's asking you.
No, I gotta hear.
Listen, because I know Adar has got a lot of wisdom, and sometimes wisdom comes with things that happen. Things that happen in your life. Started from you just come from a different country. You have to come in. You have to speak language. You have to go out there and try to start a business, and then being successful at it. At some point, it's just like, man, you can describe life. What is life means to you. You know what I mean? It's just like, what is it?
You know what? Now, when you said that, I got it. But I want to tell you one thing before. I know that usually audience and all that, they like those sad stories and stuff like that. I don't have one.
I mean, I say the same shit. I say the same shit.
I'm for real. I never, of course, I had, rough time, better time, stuff like that. But I'm not. I never lived under a bridge and I was eating with the rats, like for real. I never took somebody else's cup of coffee and finished it. No, I had a decent life even back home with my parents, and when I got here at first, I had average life. I was loving life, happy, smiling. Hustling all the time, being loyal and friendly and real. But then now, I actually got the word, and my word is peace. I really think that it's all about the peace. By the end of the day, everything that we're trying to achieve, okay, it doesn't matter if you're trying to be worth $1 billion, okay? Because by the end of the day, I'll ask every person, why you want that $1 billion? He'll tell you, because I want to do whatever I want to chill, I want to have no worries. So from there, you understand it's all about peace. And yes. I think that...
I use a different word. I say happiness, but sorry to interrupt.
But happiness is not to me.
Happiness is great, but you can be happy without peace too. I feel that happiness is more... It's overrated. It's temporary. Yes. Okay?
Me it is too.
It's very, very important to be happy. Okay? But I can tell you that today, I'm almost 40, I can tell you that a lot of words that society use daily is overrated. Happiness, love, confident, all those kind of things, they're super overrated. People like to use them because it makes them feel better. But by the end of the day, I see it that way, and I think that peace is the right word, because if you're gonna ask me now, you wanna be the most happiest person in the world, or you wanna be a person that like feel peace inside? Because by the end of the day, if you feel peace inside, it means that like
you're
happy. Technically,
it's gonna be in a peace. Happiness is gonna be in the process. But you can be happy, but you're not at peace. So because
What I'm saying,
happiness usually is not a thing. Like it's like a things that come and goes. It's not something you actually happy all the time. But you can be at peace.
If we all booking like a ticket to Thailand right now, like 5 friends, me, both of you, and like 2 more good friends, that we're gonna be happy, right?
Absolutely.
Promise you, we're not gonna have no peace over there. We're gonna be on point, like we're gonna be like, moving around, like taking care of shit, doing stuff, partying, everything,
But maybe I'm thinking too deep into it. So what's the difference between peace and boredom?
Boredom.
Yeah, being bored.
Well, bro, I'll be honest with you, I never get bored. I really don't.
Me neither.
I don't.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because they got something Adar said earlier, and you was like, because sometimes you do it, but I'm gonna tell you this. Okay, I understand where he's coming from when he's saying like, "Hey, I'm not gonna sit here and tell I had a fucked up life," and I can get that. Some people like he grew up with his mom and dad. He have all this, and it's a decent life.
Oh, I know where you're trying to go. We ain't going there.
I'm not going there.
We're not going there.
But in the same token, we're not gonna. We're not even let me finish.
Okay.
And the same token, when he was saying they got some, he never said I take a coffee from somebody and to finish it. But while he's saying it, there is somebody that actually do that.
That's why I said
you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna because
I never said it was a disrespect or anything.
I'm sure disrespect. They got some people that do that. But let's just say if you meet that person that did that and still tell you, man, my life wasn't bad. Man, I was drinking coffee. I still people that had tobacco.
You know why?
What did?
Because they're in peace.
No, that's what I'm saying. No.
So which means, okay, let me just
But the problem is that society today won't let you feel peace if you do that.
That's what I'm saying.
They look at you as like you're poor, you're
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just
sad,
saying
like, oh my God.
No. You see how you said I had challenges, but my life wasn't that bad.
Okay.
That's how I've always looked at my life. I can go ahead and find some story and make it seem sad, but to me it was just a challenge.
Okay, but
it was never anything that made me go home and cry. It was just but I'll figure it out.
But they got some people though. They got some problems. They go home and cry. That's what I'm saying. Because you didn't do it, doesn't make those people any different from you that go home and cry because the problem was terrible.
Okay, let me give you an example.
I
I agree with you, but let me give you
what I'm saying, because sometimes you say it's like,
let me give you
because I
an
didn't have
example.
no
Okay, let me
problem.
give you an example and then perhaps explain that example that might make more sense to me.
Okay.
Let's just you and I right now we got a job, right?
Okay.
We both got a job, we got a family or whatever, right?
Okay.
And then we both happen to lose that job at the same time.
Okay.
And then me, I'm like, fuck it, I'll find another one. And then
Okay.
you go home and cry and be like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Man, I got bills and I got this and I got that. What's the difference between the both of us?
I mean, okay. You see, like, why I understand the context. You're trying to make it on the surface. Like, okay, somebody combo under pressure.
Just the way that you look at things.
The way you look at it. Okay,
So
but
at the end of the day,
no, but I'm just saying,
you can be like, man, I lost my job. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was losing sleep. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. And the other guy was like, man, I lost my job. I didn't know I'm going to find another one.
This is the thing you do. This is what he does. While he in this situation, we at the same spot. As somebody, this is what I always say. It's just always thinking. You see, like right now, you say we as in the job, we lose our job, we got families. I go home, I go home, I cry. You don't go home, you cry. You figure out you got another job. You see, like same level, I give you that 100%. But then let's switch it up. We're gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it like I'm gonna just say it. We're gonna go to details with it. We're gonna leave it like this. Somebody that grew up with a mom and dad, and they got everything, and then they had a decent life where they have to struggle a lot. I had somebody that only like that they have no parents, and then the situation. It's not the same thing because at the end of the day, we are
the
not
same thing. It depends on how you look
Nobody
at
is
it.
the same though.
It's not the same.
It is how you look at it.
It's
That's
not
why
how
I
you
give that example.
But at the end of the
how
day,
you look at
listen,
it. Because you say
we go back to that
Come on,
failure
it's not
thingy.
the same thing, bro.
The one that cried accept his failure and said, I got fired, I'm a failure. The one that didn't care said, I'm gonna take care of it, didn't accept his failure and said, It's okay. Same way that I find.
Yeah, but-
no,
but
you know.
Which goes back to that example you took earlier, right?
but
Which is that example you took earlier too. It's like, man, I didn't have a hard life. The thing is,
Okay.
I can go find a story. Like, I remember
No,
somebody
what
was like,
story is it?
Everybody can find a story,
no,
bro.
what I'm saying is,
somebody just did not look at it as a trauma while somebody else does.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm
Let-
pushing
let me-
right now.
Let me give you a good out.
27 minutes.
Let me give you a good.
27.
It's more than that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, the other ones are.
No, let's go. Let's
Those
just
are
go.
probably like almost 2.
You know, you
So,
want
no,
a
let me
story.
say, so okay, I'm gonna give you a good example. Okay, but we both got $1 million.
Where is it? Let me see.
We both had $1 million, and then you make it successful. You make it become 100 millions, and my $1 million is gone.
Gone.
Okay, so now you can sit down and say, "Hey, man, you fucked up. I made it." But then let me finish.
That's my perspective.
Okay, let me finish. You got $1 million. You started with $1 million. I started with 0, and then I didn't make it. And you got enough to turn
man,
around
we
to
ain't
tell me.
finna get
I'm
into
just saying,
that,
no, so
man.
it's not
Man,
the
that
same.
dude is
There
wrong.
is so
No,
many.
it's not the same. No, I'm just saying, it's not the same. You cannot sit down and say, man, how
Dude.
you didn't make it? You can't say
But
that.
hold on
you
for a second.
You started with $1 million.
How it's gone? There is so many ways you can look at it.
Alright.
That it's so like.
No, but you understand
Let me
what I'm
ask
saying?
you that. He went and put $1 million in a business,
Maybe
being
100
successful, but you invested $1 million in going to school and learn things.
No, but I'm not.
Who won? Who lost?
No,
The thing is, let me tell you what, though. Life is a matter of, let me
No,
finish.
it's
Life
not.
is a matter of
Of
perspective.
perspective.
Okay,
Think
no,
about
perspective.
it. So which means, okay, we can
It's
both
not-
have
it's
$1
not-
million.
I'm not- it's
We
not
can,
true.
no. Let me finish. Life is a matter of perspective. That's why I always tell people, the way I see shit, that's the only thing that fucking matters to me. You can agree or
To
disagree.
you, okay.
Okay, to me. So right now,
It's not a thing,
I got $1 million, you got $1
But
million.
it's his
Okay.
life.
No.
Okay, all right,
No, you
listen.
got let
And
me
your
finish
life-
my
let me
example.
finish,
You
yeah.
got $1 million. You turn your $1 million to 100 mil.
Yes.
And then you might see me in this shit, man. What's your meal at? I'm like, man, I lost it, but guess what? I enjoy the fuck out of
Okay,
it.
so
That's the
that,
best
no,
meal I
but
ever
okay,
spent.
no, hey,
Ain't no way you're gonna tell me
No,
100 million
no,
worth more
but
than what I'm telling you my million was worth.
I'm not talking about that.
Okay,
You're
then
missing my point.
what's your point?
I'm just saying, like, if you said, if we both have $1 million and then your $1 million become $100 million, my $1 million, I just take it to Dubai and I spend it, it doesn't really matter. All I'm saying is we started with the same thing. So we had different perspective of life. We had different things we was looking for. But if you started with $1 million and I started with $0, and then you make your shit to $100 million, and then I didn't have nothing to show for it, and you turn around and
Which
look at me,
goes back to
and you look at me and
your
you say,
perspective.
But
How
hold
is
on,
that
hold on.
How is that-
I'll tell you where is the problem.
I gotta pee real quick.
How-
I'm sorry.
hey,
Don't pee. Sit
I gotta
down.
pee.
I'm just saying, what am I saying?
It's
that's
a
so?
matter of perspective.
It's not
at the end of the
respect.
day.
So you telling me?
Listen, come back. I got
No,
something.
no,
Come
I'm saying,
back.
no. So you said, so if I got, because if you didn't start at a good point with somebody, I can turn around and say, hey man,
That's his choice,
you
brother.
can't do that, because I cannot look at somebody and say, hey, I'm looking at somebody in Somalia right now. I say, hey man, shit, how the fuck you never make it to the United States? I can't do that. I don't know what the situation is. I'm saying like, I'm just saying like shit. I'm not hungry. Because I'm not hungry doesn't mean somebody's next not hungry. You can't do
agree.
that. I don't have no problem.
But-
I don't have nothing to show for it. True, I did that. But because I'm like,
But
you
I want
got
to tell you
problems?
something.
Come
bro,
on, man.
I want to tell you both something very, very important. And I promise you, like, I'm serious now. We make a lot of jokes. I know I'm very, very funny guy. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, serious note, okay? I want to tell you the first thing that I think hurt people the most, make sure people, like, basically make people stay behind, is that people comparing all the time. And when I say people comparing, you guys need to understand how deep it goes. In relationship, men and women, they comparing each other. In businesses, they comparing. In the way that they live their life, they comparing. In the way that how he succeeds and how he succeeds, they comparing. If people will stop for a second and stop comparing, their life gonna be so much easier, you know? And now we're going back to that like hard relationship that I had. And it was a very, very big of a deal because we always compare each other to each other, who is better, and then I realized, years later, I realized, why did we even do that? Like, why we try to compare? There is nothing to compare, because by the end of the day, I'm saying one thing. You need to focus on yourself and be yourself. She need to be herself and focus on herself. There is, for an example, because we talked about relationship, the whole point behind relationship work, okay, is that the fact that like you're good at some things and that your partner is good at other things, and together it's a success, okay? But if you compare, okay, for an example, one person can renovate the house better and she can cook better, or I can cook better and she can renovate better. If we start comparing who is doing what better and who is choosing what, we're always gonna get to like problems, okay? And that's what I was saying, that if people will stop comparing
And I
their
agree.
life to other people's life, their relationship to other people's relationship, their situation to other people's situations, their life gonna be so much better and so much easier. Because if you think about it, half of your freaking day you dealing with comparing your shit to somebody else's, and you're focusing on that and not on yourself. So why I need to compare myself or my relationship or my situation to anything from the beginning?
Although I agree with you 100%, but let me make it simpler for you in a way that the American dare to say it. Comparison is the thief of joy. So which means the moment you stop and compare yourself to somebody else, you feel like you're getting your joy is being stolen by it. Let me give you another example. I got things that I like. I genuinely like it. And then to it's kind of like I can't stop talking about it. That's how much I like it. And this is my best friend, the guy I talk to about this shit every day. And then the moment I'm telling this to the amount of excitement I got for it, and like, okay, man, that ain't all that. But I'm still not gonna steal my joy, because I know I like it. That's what the fuck I like. I'm still gonna talk this shit till God come back, because that's what I like. Yeah. Same thing with him. Because sometimes, like, let's just say, for example, clothes or shoes or whatever. Like, he might buy, like, some brand new shoes, and like, man, look at these shoes, man. This thing about like $1,000. And I'd be telling him, you wouldn't catch me dead in those things. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like...
But that's not really comparing. That's like, sharing...
It's sharing the information.
Sharing with your best friend. My thing is comparing when I'm saying, like, you say... why he got more money than me, or like why he's doing better than me, or I'm better than him, or
okay, well, that's a fool.
But sometimes I think no, but it's not that. Sometimes as human, people like measuring stick. Like, do you want to feel like, for you to feel better about yourself? A lot of people to feel better about themselves, they need to they have to look at somebody else and say, oh yeah, I got more shit than he does.
I feel that this is the biggest mistake. That's why I said earlier.
Because it is.
It keep you behind.
Because then when you go back and then you go like you was in this neighborhood and then you was the shit and you go to a different neighborhood, now you realize you was never nobody. Then now you go to what? Depression, you start messing up, you're not at peace, you're not happy, you're sad. It's because, yes, when you said that the first time, and I was like, man, that was deep, because everything we do, most of the time, you're trying to compare with somebody else. We're looking at him like talking about, I man, shit, I'm faster than you. I man, shit, I can do 20 push. And then you're like, oh, shit. You said, now I'm trying to be okay. It's like he can eat all day and then never get fat. And you're like, man, I started comparing, like, okay, now, but that's who he is. I'm going to leave it at that. So sometimes you have to understand who you are, and then accept who you are, and then know, okay, if he's somebody out there say, hey, man, I can do 20 backflip. That's good for you. I'm happy you can do that. I'm not going to sit here there.
Which goes back to what I was saying originally. It's just a matter of perspective. Right now, if I'm talking about something that you don't care about, you're going to accept the perspective that I don't give a fuck about that.
If you focus...
But if I start talking about something that you care about, something you wish that you were, that's where the comparison finna come. Like if I'm saying like, hey man, because I know you love cars, or I know you love shoes, I know you love whatever the fuck it is, and I'm showing you my closet when I got 1 million shoes, and you're gonna be like, damn man, that dude got 1 million shoes when I only got 20. But if let's just say if I'm into fishing and I'm telling you all kind of fish that I done caught, and I done went to Panama and fished for 3 days, you're gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't go out there and do that shit. But hey, bro, that's the perspective that I'm talking about.
Focus and pay attention again to what I said earlier. Tip for life, for real. If every person, you, whatever, if you for a second think about, stop talking about someone else, stop comparing yourself to somebody else, and stop caring about what somebody else say. We just freed 60-70% of our day in our mind, right? Because it's all mentally, basically. The second you realize that you need to stop comparing, stop talking about someone else, and stop caring about what others say about you, you freed 70% in your mind for yourself. And now you're free to achieve whatever you want. Because you need to understand, 90% of the people in the world right now, okay, before they do anything, they like what the neighbor will say, what this one will say, what this one will do, what other people did, how other people do it, stuff like that. Free your mind. That's how you can focus on yourself, and that's how you can achieve the best goals for yourself. I don't care what other people say. I don't care what other people think. And I don't compare myself to nobody. Literally, just like that. The second you do it, you win. Because, like I said, 90% of the people cannot do it. So the second you realize that how important it is and you do it, you win.
Yeah, it takes time, because I feel like even like right now I'm in a level where I can do it, because I remember like
Everything takes time.
it's like, even
100%.
like, you know, when I was in Haiti, I remember like, you know, like when I go to a party, I have to be drinking so I can have my mind, so I can do all kind of crazy stuff. I was like, man, that's some bullshit. I want to be able to do this shit, like dance, you know, do whatever I want. It doesn't matter if I'm on a clear head. And it takes times and times every time you're looking at other. Now, shit, if I want to dance 1,000 people there, I dance 1,000 people there. I don't have to drink. If I don't want to dance, I don't want to dance. If I want to jump, I can jump. If I want to scream, I can scream, because I don't allow anybody else. But it takes time. You just have to take it, and you know what I mean. You don't have to pretend
There is a
like,
saying
hey,
behind
man,
it. You
follow
dance
me.
like nobody look at you. Or like,
And I
right?
agree with it, but I'm gonna tell you what this dude does. He just goes to the club and stand there and meet more
But
everybody.
I'm just saying that's what I choose to do. It's not because I'm scared of nobody. But I'm just saying, it's not
Next time at the club, we dancing, bro. I'm telling you. I'm gonna make you dance.
You be so
sober.
You be so no. You be so.
sit in the back and just be like,
Hey,
so I'm like, why you wanna be home, bro? Be at home, man.
This is the thing. Okay, this is what he does and I don't do, right? If I decide to do dance, trust me, I don't give a fuck who is there. I can dance and go crazy. I don't have to.
Wow.
If I choose to go today and I see me in the corner, I'm not in the corner because I'm scared of who's watching. I'm not now. Because I'm just chill. That's what I choose to do.
Scared. I don't think he's scared. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
But you just show up because.
But the thing is, I don't go to the club often. I don't go out often. But if I'm just waking up one time in 10 months or a year, I'm saying if I'm going to the club,
Yeah.
I'm going to the club. I'm dancing. I'm going crazy.
Okay,
But if I don't want to go, I'm gonna say,
Okay,
but this dude
no.
goes there just in the background like me and everybody.
Ask him
So I'm
this
like,
question.
just stay your ass at home.
All
Why
right,
the
this
fuck
is
you came out to begin with?
This is what I don't do.
Okay.
So if I take Adar, if me and Adar go to the club, right? Adar decide to be I decide to be in the dance floor doing all my shit. And I'm seeing Adar sit down and chilling. I can say, hey man, why you not dancing? I'm not that kind of person. I'm here to dance. Adar here to drink and have a good time. And we like, this is how he's having a good time. I cannot projecting my life into his life. This is what you do. If I go after this, I decide to chill and not I'm just hinging. You want me to be in the dance floor with you? And then
But
at the end
I'm
of the day,
saying though,
You know, when we were in the bathroom earlier, I told him I think we should kick you out of the podcast.
Yeah, because-
and me and him gonna do like, you know.
yeah, because you always because and then the friend is this shit was funny though, right? I go to this club with this dude, bro, and I know my partner, right? That's not him, and I go, he's just like, follow my lead.
Follow my leader.
We was ball hopping.
Let me finish.
Literally ball hopping.
Let me
Using
finish,
this ball,
though.
go to that
Let me
ball.
finish my
That dude,
story.
everywhere we go, he just in the back and be like,
Let me finish my
I'm
story.
like, bro, stay your ass at home, man.
Hey,
If you're gonna be out there mean mugging everybody,
Let me finish my story,
go
bro.
home,
Let
man.
me finish this story,
Let me
bro.
finish my story, bro. He's just like, follow my. Hey, you know when somebody cut you off guard, follow my lead. I'm like, okay. Jesus was like, I'm like, yo, that's not you. And I said,
Man, guess what? That was the life of the club.
That
was the
wasn't
life of
him.
the
There
club.
was
I'm
like
just, hey,
five vodka Red Bull in him.
I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling. He said, hey man, you're not having fun. I am having fun. You can tell me.
Just standing there,
You can tell
like
me.
this thing in the background,
You
just like
can
me
tell
mugging everybody.
You can tell me
Man,
I'm having
come
fun. I
on
said,
now.
hey man, that's not you. Why you doing that? He said, yeah, man, I'm just doing it. I said, man,
No, we're not to have fun. That's because I don't go out often. If I say I'm going out to the club,
Bro, you was
that's
doing
because I'm in the mood
shit.
to have fun.
But like I said
You
earlier,
wasn't the mood
we
to
don't
have fun.
compare. You do
compare.
that, he do that.
Yeah,
That's
you
it,
compare me. You want me to be like you.
I feel like if you're not, okay, it's a club. People are chilling, dancing, vibing. Man, sit at home. Sit at home.
Maybe I wanted to be around people. I was just want to see around people. What's wrong with that? I'm chilling. I'm not causing no problem. I'm
Hey,
not
you know what's
fighting.
funny about this? Girls are pushing to him and you want to dance? Nah.
I'm good. So you see what I'm saying? Like again, projection. He wouldn't be to be doing. I'm talking about this is what's doing. So hey, I never seen no shit like this. This is what's doing shit like, bro. Where'd that come from? I didn't know that guy.
But guess what?
Hey man, that's it. Hey, you know what?
Hey, man, this shit don't work.
I don't need to come here every day, man. This is
Oh,
fun.
no, honestly, though, I'm gonna tell you what
This
it is.
is
Though.
fun. This is a good podcast
Because honestly,
right there.
with you, like, I genuinely, like I said before, that I feel like you're somebody that can intrigue my mind. I feel like I can go back and forth with you. I can learn, and then I can fight the way I think about life, and you can tell me how you think about life. If I learn something new, I'll be like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. Or if there's a way I strongly believe in, and then you tell me the opposite, I'll fight backward. And the thing is, I always enjoy this kind of conversation. The conversation when I feel like I can let my mind run free, and then somebody else can either agree with it or perhaps guide it in a different path. And I genuinely enjoy that. And that's why I'm saying, like, this conversation, like, for me, I can do this shit till like 5 in the fucking morning.
Yeah, I mean we do this shit every day. But
Easy.
I got a question for you. If you had to go back, speaking to the guy that was just leaving Israel to come here, what would you tell him?
To do exactly what I did.
And that's good.
For real, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not changing the thing.
I really feel that, like, you know, we talked about it earlier. I really feel that, like, if you take the rough and the hard times from what I've been through, and like I said, I'm not saying, you know, I was like, you know, out at the streets or whatever, but if you take those rough and hard times, I won't be who I am at any aspect. And I really feel that, like, you know, I lived great life. I'm still living a great life. I'm doing what I like. I have more time now to do what I like because of my choices, you know? So if I like, you know, jewelry and watches and stuff like that. So yes, I run a bar, I run some businesses, I do some stuff, but I also have extra time for the stuff that I enjoy the most. That it's my hobby, but I will put it, like, you know, top in my priorities because it's me happy and it give me peace.
Here you go.
Peace and happiness. There you go.
Okay, so all right, because usually because I don't feel like a lot of people they're not being asked that, but I take it upon like this year, everybody that comes to the podcast. I did that last year, but this year I want to ask everybody that comes to the podcast, what you want your legacy to be when all said and done?
I actually just watched Derek.
Yes.
You asked him the same question. It was beautiful. You know, bro, I'm gonna keep with the same thing that we talked about earlier. I want my legacy to value loyalty above everything, because I really feel that this is the truth behind everything in life. When you really feel that and you're really loyal, like, to yourself and to your surrounding, I think, first of all, nothing can stop you. Second of all, nothing can bother you, because you know deep down that this is the real truth, you know, and the people around you as well. And by the end of the day, if you are loyal, you're going to attract loyalty. And who is not really loyal, because, you know, some people are two faces, and it's okay, it's part of life. They're going to end up not being part of your life. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, maybe in 10 years, but it will happen. So stick to being loyal, stick to like value loyalty above everything else.
And I agree 100%. And the thing is, for the record, it needs to be said, even though we enjoyed this conversation with Odo, that's the second time we've done sit there and go back and forth. And as far as I'm concerned, I can do this with this man all day, every day. But for the sake of the podcast, we got to put this thing to an end to where we don't keep doing this thing till like...
What end? We end? No.
Oh, you want to keep going? We can end it and then keep going off camera. Because, like, if you drop like a 6-hour episode, who's going to watch it? You know what I'm saying? But
well, maybe if they will see me, maybe they will watch
they
it.
might.
About you, I don't know, but I mean,
I don't know, man. But I genuinely do. Like I
just
said this,
playing.
man. I genuinely enjoy talking to you, though. It's kind of like whenever I speak with you, because like we've had many guests in this podcast. Some conversation that I've enjoyed, some that was like extremely like knowledgeable to it. They done told me a lot of things that I didn't quite know. But with you, I feel like there's a Haitian saying that says like a knife gotta rub itself within another knife to sharpen itself. If that makes sense. And I feel
100%.
like conversing with you, that's how I feel. Like I feel like I'm rubbing, like my knife is going against another sharp knife and my shit is getting sharper.
I feel that like, you got to some point in life sometimes that those things are very important because you called it boredom earlier, because like you feel that like a lot of conversation and people around you, like you're not sharpening the knife, basically, right?
Yeah.
But I see it as those things like what we are. I feel the same as you guys. I feel that it's really, really important because as long as you stay sharp, you're on top of your shit.
Absolutely.
And this is very, very important. So that's why I love it. And I'll be honest, like I had a tight day today as well. I was like really, really busy and I was telling him, and on my way home, I decided like, you know what, I'm doing it. I really want to go do it because it keep me on my shit. So maybe tomorrow I will have a little bit more to do, but I know I'm going to be sharp and I'm going to do what I need to do like better.
Absolutely.
And that's great for me.
And genuinely, then, and like I said, you couldn't have said it any fucking better. Because like I said, talking with you, and thing is, I don't sit there and like and give gifts. I give guests compliments where the compliment is deserved. But with you, I feel like conversing with you, it's kind of like my knife is going against another sharper knife, and my shit is getting sharper.
That's
honestly, because you intrigue my mind. Honestly, like the way you look at the world, the way I look at the world, and then the shit that you say, the shit that I say. That's why I tend to push back against a lot of shit you say, and it's because I genuinely enjoy how you gonna come back to what I said. Because I know I genuinely believe wholeheartedly in everything I'm fucking talking about, and you do as well. And the thing is, if you say something that I feel like, oh wow, that makes sense, that makes more sense than what I just said, and I'm willing to just follow your lead in that sense. That makes sense.
You know where it gets really, really like amazing when you believe in something so much, right? And so many people told you like their ideas and thoughts before, and you're like, okay, cool, whatever. I still believe what I believe. The day someone told you something that kind of make you think one more time,
Yes.
it's like it's get like exciting.
And that's how I feel talking to you.
This is how people like us recharge. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was telling you. I know that tomorrow I will make that day better than what it was supposed to be because I'm recharged. I know that I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna think about you said. I'm gonna think about you said. I'm gonna think what I said back.
Yes.
What you told me back. It's gonna my mind gonna work.
Yes.
It's not gonna numb. I'm not gonna like. That's what I'm saying. So with that being said, I love you guys. I'm really, really happy that we met. You know, when we met for the first time at the fight, me and you,
Yeah.
he told me, a lot of people told me that I need to bring you on a podcast. And a lot of people told me that I need to be on a podcast. And I'm saying like, everything happened for a good reason.
Good reason.
This is
You gotta make
amazing.
sure with
I
the
love
good
it.
reason.
I love the fact that we met. And I don't see it ends after that podcast.
Oh, no,
Absolutely,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Like, he's a friend.
No, you guys don't have a choice in here. I'm telling you, we're gonna stay friends after that too.
But seriously,
I would
though.
love to even do more podcasts.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Like,
For sure.
But for the sake of this one, man, we got Adar in here. We had a great conversation. I know we kind of been all over the
100%.
place. But at the same time, follow, like, share, and subscribe. Then trust me, this conversation probably gonna last like an hour off camera. Honestly, I can't do this shit with you all fucking day, man. I really can't do that.